Good afternoon. Now, I know it's sort of overcast outside, and I know that it's 3 o'clock, which is the down hour if you're in elementary school or you're in preschool. We would be having a nap right now, so I'm going to do my best. And I said my best to wake y'all up, okay? So I want to start by saying hello and welcome to Children's Advocacy Days. Richard, it's such a joy to be here with you and with everyone else here. It's such a joy to be able to be in person at a meeting. And also for those that are joining us virtually, I hope that you're going to wake up too as we talk about the things that our department is doing. I'd like to start by thanking my team, Carrie Virgo, who is our Director of Children's Services, Melissa Binkley, and Jamie Hernan. We're so grateful for the work that you guys do each and every day to serve kids across our state that are struggling with mental health and substance use issues. You'll note that I have the System of Care cup, Tennessee System of Care. If you want to pay $500, we'll do an auction, we'll start it. But these are the kinds of programs that Carrie and her team work to fund for all of y'all out across this incredible state. So this year's theme is Currents of Change, Rivers of Opportunity. So I thought what I'd ask you to do if you're at home and you're watching this virtually, and if you're in here, if you will please turn to your neighbor. And if you'd stand up when you do this, I'd like you to stand up, please. Please turn to your neighbor. And would you say, I am a current of change. I am a current of change. And I will create. And I'm gonna create. And there's gonna be a river of opportunity. Opportunity. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. So I wanted to say that when you think about this theme today, rivers of opportunity and current of change, when you think about water, water is an unstoppable force. You know that if you recently bought a boat and you've been using your boat during COVID to do some meetings from, and you happen to be a part of a flood that occurred, you're sitting in your boat and you're thinking sort of like Noah did in the ark, is the water ever going to stop? Is it ever going to stop? Well, we know that this water, this river, this current of change, whether it's the mighty Mississippi that flows or it's water that sort of tinks on limestone in a cave somewhere, we know that it's a force that will produce and create monumental change wherever it's at. And that, to me, is what each of you do. You're a force for good, not only in the lives of children that are so badly needed across the state, but a force for good and a current of change for their families. Whether it's just you on your own traveling from school to school, or it's you working in a program with a family in their home, or it's you and a team working on a complex problem, we know that we are all currents of change. Another current of change that we've been addressing over the last several years is the evolving environment in the field that we work in. There's never a dull moment, is there, when you're serving youth, serving family? And there's for sure never been a dull moment as we've struggled mightily with a workforce shortage unlike a workforce shortage that we have ever seen in our history. And when I thought about the current change, I thought about, my gosh, how is it these factors came together? We had the highest need that we've ever had in our state. If you look at the research around kids struggling with anxiety and depression, we're seeing anywhere from a 50% to 75% increase depending upon what part of the state you're in. And I think about those of you that are on the front line, because I used to be on the front line as a case manager, as you said, in Memphis. And I can remember thinking there's so many people that I'm trying to help that have homeless issues, mental health issues, substance use issues. And some days it feels like it's a never-ending line. Well, I think about you now because I know that you are facing a never-ending line, and you're facing that never-ending line with less and less support. Less and less support of people that are there to help you, that are getting hired to be able to help you. And I hope that you know I'm going to talk a few minutes about our rivers of opportunity, in which our department has worked very hard to put together some announcements of funding, some budget increases that hopefully will help you in that shortage. But when you think about these rivers of opportunity, I'd like to ask you to think about the places that energize you, because sometimes it can become so much that we lose that energy and that joy around what we do. We also know that when we are having those times of what energizes me, why did I get into this in the first place? When we have those times and we're able to take a step back and think about that we can for sure create mighty, mighty rivers of opportunity. I want you to know that I'm grateful to serve in this state, grateful to serve with people like Richard, while we work with the governor and the legislature to try to move forward our budgets, to do something to give back to the kids in our state. I'll tell you that at the early peak of the pandemic, when things got really hard and other states were slashing budgets, that the Lee administration and the General Assembly made a $10.6 million investment to create the Children's Behavioral Health Safety Net. Please, please, if you are not aware, please make yourself aware of the Children's Behavioral Health Safety Net. It's for any kid that's uninsured. And there have been some people that have said to me, oh, well, there aren't any kids in our state that are uninsured. Well, tell that to the 1,000 kids that we've already served across this state that were uninsured. We know that that allows people the ability to get into treatment and services so that there's no barrier for the provider to provide the service. The other item that got added, I don't know if we have any school-based behavioral health liaisons in this room, but if you are a school-based behavioral health liaison, would you raise your hand or would you stand up? Any school-based behavioral health liaisons? Okay, I will tell you that the governor funded one for each county. That's huge. We've never had that in our state. Why does that matter? Because we know if we can have somebody in that county that knows where to hook a kid up related to services or their family, that they've got the opportunity to be better and to meet recovery in ways that they did not have before. I want you to also know that in addition, the governor added what was called the Mental Health Trust Fund. How many of you have heard of the Mental Health Trust Fund? Raise your hand. Awesome. The Mental Health Trust Fund is $250 million. No other state's done this. $250 million that will be set aside, that will draw interest, and that interest will go out across the state to fund programs like the program in West Tennessee that I went to see, where there was a worker in the school that was in one of the classrooms that had been retrofitted to be able to serve those kids in a therapeutic, safe environment. Also, a program that's in East Tennessee, in Knoxville, where kids are being greeted at the emergency department by trained, certified peer specialists to talk to them, and you're shaking your head. I hope that you're aware of that. It looks like you are. That can be in the emergency department and tell their story, and because of their story, help another family be able to get into treatment. We've also expanded suicide prevention with the Youth Suicide Prevention Project, as well as other services that have been split between the Jason Foundation and the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network. I will close by hoping that you did wake up a little. Looks like you did. I see lots of great smiles. And I'll close with saying that my wish for us and my hope is that we make the most of these days together. Those of you who have been here before know that this is an extremely special gathering, a highlight on our calendar. When we get to return and see each other again and work together again, I look forward to it. I always enjoy being here and being a part of this. I hope you have a great rest of your conference. Thank you.